Hablo Natalia Salas Guaitero, hasta la próxima.
A very good evening, Zimbabwe. Welcome to Live Talk. We're coming to you live from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington this Friday, March the 10th, 2023. I'm your host, Marvelous Nhlanga-Nyahuye. And tonight on Live Talk, we're looking at the start of the election campaign season by the country's major political players for the forthcoming general elections. We'll be hearing from the two protagonists, the ruling ZANU-PF and the main opposition Citizens Coalition for Change. Tinokuchingamidzai pano pachirongwa chedu. Nhasi tiri kutarisa nezvegadziriro dzesarudzo dzegore rino. Tichanzwa kubva kumapato eZANU-PF neCitizens Coalition for Change. Mapato aya akatozivisa kare nezveurongwa hwavo hwekutsvaga nhengo dzichakwikwidza mumasarudzo regore rinouya. But before we dive into our main topic tonight, let's go to Atlanta, Georgia, where Zimbabwean art is on display at the world's busiest airport, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Among the works of art on display is that of the late legendary artist Nicholas Mukomberanwa and is being seen by thousands of travelers daily. Takunda Mafundikwa files this report.
In the world's busiest airport, according to Airport Council International, one can find a small piece of Zimbabwe. As you walk through Concourse T, you can hear Mbira music, and for the next 137 meters, you're surrounded by Shona stone art that is seen by at least 250,000 people a day. Zimbabwe's top diplomat to the United States, Ambassador Thaddeus Chifamba, visited the concourse last month to commemorate the exhibition of Zimbabwean art, which has been there for almost 30 years. Ambassador Chifamba was accompanied by the airport's general manager, Mr. Balham Beodari.
Our most treasured collection here at the airport, and that is, we titled it Zimbabwe, a tradition in stone.
The exhibition of Zimbabwean art was commissioned by the city of Atlanta more than 3 decades ago. Former art directors in the city's council, Lamar Renford and David Vaught, were instrumental in bringing the Shona pieces to Atlanta.
We recognized the tremendous work that was being done by the sculptors in Zimbabwe, and so we were attracted by their work and thought, what great opportunity to bring a world-class collection of this work to this airport. And so that's what we did.
Airport authorities are willing to create strong links between Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport and Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport. Ambassador Chifamba spoke and met with Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens in an attempt to deepen cooperation between the city and Zimbabwe. Mayor Dickens said he was very keen to pursue strong ties in areas like education, science, technology, arts, and welcomed the idea of facilitating university exchange programs.
But we do believe that with them and through them, we can forge much closer relationships between Zimbabwe and Georgia, and specifically Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are very keen to see how we can explore areas of cooperation.
The late Mukomberanwa's granddaughter, Tanaka Mukomberanwa, who is also an artist, joined the ambassador's walkthrough and expressed what the exhibit meant to her and other artists.
I am honored to be a part of the walkthrough exhibit with the Zimbabwean ambassador, and seeing my grandfather's art here at the airport inspires me as an artist, and I hope to see more Zimbabwean art out there. And also I hope that more Zimbabweans get to put their art out there so the world can see what amazing art we're making.
The event at the airport was graced by artist Tammy Moyo, who sang for Mayor Dickens. Ambassador Chifamba said he wanted to see Zimbabwe and U.S. relations grow through collaboration. Relations between the two countries have been strained due to concerns over human rights violations and alleged voter fraud. Takunda Mafundikwa, VOA News, Atlanta, Georgia.
Thank you there, Takunda, for the report on Zimbabwean art on display at the world's busiest airport. And now back to politics. The leader of ZANU-PF, who's also the country's president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, this week told delegates at his party's Politburo meeting in Harare that his party is confident of winning this year's elections. He urged his members to continue with its voter registration exercises. Let's hear more.
Voter registration, grassroots-oriented mobilization strategies centered at the cells and the villages should continue. Nothing must be left to chance. So our party ZANU-PF is geared and ready to mount an electric, thunderous, scientific, people-centered campaign. We are ready for victory, and victory is certain. NGOs must be transparent and accountable in all their activities.
The leader of the main opposition Citizens Coalition for Change, Nelson Chamisa, told a press conference this week that he will win this year's elections. His party launched its elections roadmap and encouraged people to register to vote. Let's hear more.
Tikuti ngapinda yake mukomana kana ngapinda yake musikana anopinda kumaparamendi anopinda kumakanzuro asiwo pa kusora pari ngapinda yake mukomana kuti ngapinda baba saka muri kuzona pane mukomana na baba mukomana ngapindi ndo shoko ratiri kutaura iro panya yokusarudza ma citizen representatives. Chichitatu tachitaura nyaya kuti tiri kuda kuti kuvandudzwe nyaya yekudzivirira nekusimbisa kuvhota kunenge kwaita vanhu. Ma polling agents anofana ngari kwese kwese kwete asingamwe uyewo patinosarudza ma MP atidi vanoita ma double candidates apasainirwa vaviri ndo zvinokanganisa atidi makaswa kana paita modzi yamera atidi makaswa. Tiri kugadzirisa nyaya iyoyo kuti zvisange zvichiita dambudziko ratakambona richiitika mumazuva apfuura munhu anenge ari umwe chete anomirira ma citizens. Saka kune ma candidates ema citizens ndo achasarudzwa neruzhinji. Tataura ipapo kuti tichada kuona kuti tagadzirisa nyaya yokuti pasati vhoti yaitwa yobirwa voters roll inofana kuauditwa, ZEC inofana kubudisa voters roll, tofana kuwirirana voters roll. Hazvigoni kuti munhu anotaura ari umwe chete, hakuna munhu anotamba mutambo ari umwe, hakuna mutambo umwe chete. Chero tsiva chainoti vana vaviri kuti titokandirana zvipakira kunge tawirirana. Ndosaka vachiti vapedza kurwa muboxing vanobatana maoko. Saka izvi totogadzirana tofana kutowirirana kuti rikadenga ubatsirana zvanza zvinogezana. Tinofana kutowirirana kuti ZEC ive nevoters roll yatakawirirana uye yatinowirirana. Saka nyaya iyoyi yesecurity yekuti vhoti yedu iite zvakanaka. Kune mareforms ari muparliament akatsvetwa ari bhiro ratikufunga tinogona kufamba zvakanaka kana zvatakaitsveta izvo zvikahuchikwawo. Toda diaspora vhoti kuti ivepo, toda kuti voters roll rionekwe, rizikanwe, risainirwe, toda kuti results anaunzwe ipo chiripo richo ipapo toziva kuti abuda ndiani, mukomana here kana kuti mukoma ene mukoma haapabuda. Saka toda kuti mukomana angozikanwe nyika yese kuti wabuda, rinofana kutozodoka takuziva kuti mukomana wapinda. Izvozvo zvinogoneka chete kana taremekedza nyaya yekuti sarudzo dzitariswe nepadzakatarwa mutemo nemareforms ari kuparamendi ateedzerwa. Vanhu vasambonyikidzwa, vanhu vasazvambaradzwa, masabhuku asamanikidza vanhu kunovhota, vanhu vavhote pamadiro avo, pave nekodzero dzevanhu. Vhoti inge ichiremekedzwa, tinge tichibuda pamasaisai tese. Vamunangagwa kana vachida toenda kuTV tonoita makwikwi nokuti ndo vanokwikwidzaana navo. Vamwe vese ndatitarisi ndongova neumwe chete, iye mukuru weRimau nesusu vakuru vechiedza, mukuru wevarakashi nemukuru wevajekesi. Saka sarudzo dziri pachena kuti muri kuda kurakashwa here kana kuti muda kujekeserwa. Kana muda kujekeserwa sarudzai mukomana apindi. Ndo shoko ratiri kuuya naro papila number 3. Number 4 tikutaurawo nyaya yekuti tinoda mapolicies, urongwa, new government.
Meanwhile, the African Union top diplomat to the United States, Ambassador Hilda Suka-Mafudze, this week urged women to register to vote as it is their right as the country prepares for elections. Let's hear what she had to say.
Zvakakosha zvikuru, handisi kungotaura, ini ndaimbovawo member of parliament. And ndakasvitswa pandiri pano pazuva ranhasi nemi madzimai muchibuda kunovhota. Handizivi kuti kana paane dambudziko rakadaro rekuti hatisi kusumuka tichienda kuti tinovhota, vanoti kuvhota ikodzero yedu. Haungave uchiregedza kunovhota zvinhu zvichitendeuka zvichiita sezvausingade, zvinobuda zvaunoda nekuti unenge wasumuka kuenda kunovhota. Ukarega kunovhota watambira zvacho zvausiri kufarira. Saka ndinoti sumukai, zvakakodzera. Ose mapurogiramu amuri kunzwa unzi emadzimai anobudawo negavhmendi yenyu ichishanda neAfrican Union nekuti muri kubudawo futi muchienda kunovhota. Zvakakosha. Tiri kukurudzira kuti kunenge kusina kana violence, tiri kukurudzira kuti zvinhu zvedu zvive zvinofamba mune zvakanaka. Tivewo Zimbabwe inoyevedza asi zvinobudikira kubva kumadzimai.
Let's now take a short break. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depends on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
For those that have just joined us, please note that we are streaming live on all our Facebook pages, VOA Shona, VOA Studio 7, and VOA Ndebele. We're also live on YouTube at VOA Zimbabwe. And for perspective, we are now joined by our guest. We are waiting for some other guests that were supposed to be here, but for now, we are joined by Ellen Shiriedenga of the Citizens Coalition for Change. Hello and good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. We are so excited to have you on the program. So I'll start off by just asking you that, we see that, there's a lot happening. We saw your party launching its roadmap yesterday. So is your party not having primaries this time?
Remember, we are a new party, and obviously we're starting something new. Our president has been very consistent, and also he reiterated the message yesterday to say we are a citizen-driven party, and our candidates will definitely come from the citizens. We are not going to have primaries, but we are going to use the citizens' consensus process, where the citizens would nominate their candidates, their preferred candidates, and then we subject those candidates to the people, and then the people will have the final say through consensus. So we are not going to have a primary. We have noted, primaries, they are very divisive. And they leave the parties are divided. And that is why even you hear of cases where there are double candidates. So this is what we are trying to avoid is the triple C.
Also, while we're still on your campaign, people want to know what yardsticks are you using to measure internal democracy?
Sorry, I couldn't get the question.
Okay, I think regai timbopinda mushona yedu tongoti vamwe vangada kuziva kuti zvii zvamuri kushandisa kuti vanhu vanyatsoziva kuti zvamuri kuita hazvizodzvinyirirawo vamwe vanhu imomo mumapato pamwe vajaira zvamanga muri kuita munguva yapfuura pakusarudza vachange vakamirirwa.
Democracy inoreva kuti munhu anosarudza utamirire vanhu anenge achibva kuvanhu. Saka hapana democracy inopfuura ipapo nezvatinoda kuita kuti patinoenda sekucommunity muward tovhunza ma-stakeholders, ma-opinion leaders, machechi aripo, ma-youth organizations, ma-residents, tovabvunza kuti inini ndimunogara munharaunda ipapo. Vanhu vanogara ipapo munovaziva, vanhu vanoshanda munovaziva, vanhu vakakodzera kukumirirai munovaziva. Iudzei kuti ndevapi vanhu vanokwanisa kukumirirai kuparamende kana kuti kukanzuri. Motiudza kuti munhu anokwanisa kukumirirai ndiani. Ivo ndo vanozivana nokuti vanogara veshe. Vanokwanisa kuti aiwa uyu neuyu. Ende nesu izini kumusangano tine vamwe vedu vanoshanda vanotoshanda nevanhu ivavo. Saka munhu kana uchishanda uri pavanhu, obviously they will nominate you. So ndiyo democracy yacho. Manenzi andiki kudhara taishanda nokuti inini saeleni ndinzi kuda kukukwidza. Ati izvozvo handizvo, izvozvo takuti aiwa munhu anofanira kudiwa necommunity. Ndiyo democracy yacho.
Aiwa, tinotenda chaizvo. Tanga tiri kuedza kuti tibate vatafadzwa mugwadi veZANU-PF, asi tiri kunzwa kuti tina vamavaza vamasimba mavaza veZANU-PF. Regai tiende kwavari tibva tatanga nekuti Mr. Mavaza, welcome to the program, and I'll start off by just saying your party is having primaries next week. Tell us more about these primaries.
Thank you, and good evening, Zimbabwe. Our party had started preparations for the primary elections, which will be held next week on Sabbath, and Saturday. The primary election, as you know, or sometimes they call it called direct primary. It's a voting process by which voters can indicate their preference for their party's candidate. And the reason why there has to be some sort of voting is to be transparent. It's the purpose of the transparency. That's to say, if people gather together, go and vote for a member they want to represent them in the parliamentary elections, which will be coming, or council elections, or anything else. Now, if you look at this, it then rubbishes the thought which the other party, CCC, is saying that they won't have primary elections. They will appoint people from the community by asking the community to tell them which people who is loved most or whom they love. The problem with that is the thing, it shows the undemocratic way. Nobody would take an audit of how many people said we love this one. Because the only way to take an audit of who is the winner of who is the choice of the people in the area is through an election where you count the votes. But when you are saying you ask people to bring the one person they love, how do they do that? They just point at anybody, and those who have got objections, how do you know how many people love him and how many don't? So the only way to put it to rest is through a vote. So by abandoning the democratic system, the CCC had actually shown that it cannot be trusted. Because if they start by being horrible in their own party, they'll be worse when they become a government. So this undemocratic way...
If I may just, since we are now talking on the issue of democracy, Mr. Mavaza, how is your internal democracy measured as ZANU-PF?
It's measured by these elections. Whatever the president wants and everybody wants in the party, it's not what is taken. What is taken is what the people have voted for. So we start by an MP or a councillor. He is elected by the people of his area. They nominate, nominations are done, then elections are done, and they are counted. Yes, in every election, remember, those elected, it's like they are given a job. They are being employed by the party, by the people. And of course, those who lose, there's always a problem where some complain, some will come up and say this is not fair, this is fair. But the system of democracy is not bulletproof. It has some problems here and there, but the best way, the transparent way to show the democracy internally is to have everything you do voted for by the people. Because the party must be the party of the people. We cannot just give the party a name to call it a citizen party when in actual fact citizens are not voting. You are only choosing, nominated by the leader. That becomes the problem.
And still on that issue, your own party, the ZANU-PF, had primaries for by-elections held in March, and these primaries were marred by violence, vote buying, nepotism, etc. How are you going to address these issues in these next primaries next week?
In the primaries coming up next week, this coming Saturday, the first thing, as I told you, is we measure democracy by elections. But democracy is the majority rule. So we measure that by majority. Yes, we cannot in any way tell you that there will be no one to complain or to do anything. There will be complaints. But there is a process in ZANU-PF. If you think that you have been rigged or somebody has rigged the elections or manipulated the results, there is a committee which will be set by the party, which is constitutionally there, that we can have the process of verifying the election. If there is a problem and they see that there is a big problem, the party can order the elections to be redone again, those primaries. So primaries is the mirror, is the showing that we are democratic. And then democracy must start from your party. You can never be a horrible person in your party and pretend to be better when you come to the larger national issues. So in other words, I would say, I was listening to the panelists who spoke a few minutes ago. I can say to people of Zimbabwe who are listening, if you want the country to be dragged back into the despotic moments of the colonialism, vote Triple C. Why? Because Triple C has no democratic respect, has no democratic ethos. By the fact that they can appoint people to represent you, it means the person who has been appointed by Chamisa, he pays his allegiance to Chamisa and not to the electorate.
On that note, Mr. Mavaza, please stay on the line. I'll be coming back to Maishiri Denga just now, but we have a caller from Zimbabwe. Makadi caller ku Zimbabwe. Aiwa tiripo tauraiti nzwe.
Da kutaura nenyaya yema-elections arida kuti wagorera 2020 gore rinorapa 2023 aya.
Ehe, tauraiti nzwe ndimi muri munyika, zvakamira sei ikoko, muri kupi?
Tiri kuZimbabwe kuwa zvakaoma, tinoti dai mukomana anga apinda vakomana zvinhu zvacho nazvo kurwadza zvisingaite. Hei,
saka
vari kungonyesa vachingotaura zvavanotaura izvo, but zvinhu hazvina kumira mushe.
Makanyoresa kuvhota here? Makanyoresa kuvhota here?
Kuvhota takanyoresa, toda kutovhota chaiko chaiko, kuvhota zvine mutsindo chaiwo kuti mukomana apinde uyu.
Saka pachii chiri kutaurwa nevamuri kutsigira chiri kukuitai kuti muti aiwa ava ngavapinde?
Chavari kutaura ndechekuti tisingataure kuti chavari kutaura, but zvinhu zvida kungotiwo zvingoiswawo munhu womunyowani anokwanisa kuchinjawo zvinhu munyika. So varume varipo kubva 1980 hatina kuona chinhu chakatombochinja chaizvo chaizvo kuti apa nyika yachinja apa.
Aiwa, mashoko akanaka chaizvo. Ameno, kana muine zvamungada kuvhunza vanyarikani vedu vatinavo musi wanhasi, tine vanyarikani vari kubva kuCitizens Coalition for Change, Maishiri Yedenga, uyezve navamasimba mavaza veZANU-PF, munogona kuvhunza.
Tanga tida kuti tibvunzewo vedu ava veTriple C ava kuti panguva yatitarisana nayo iyo sarudzo iyi, vane zvipo zvavakatigadzirira kuti tiregedze kubirwa vhoti yedu, because ndinoona zvakaitika last time paya maelections apura aya. Takarwadzwa nekuti takanga takapa mwoyo wedu chaizvo chaizvo kuti vakomana dai zvinhu zvanga zvaita chaizvo chaizvo, that hei nezvakazoitika takagwadziwa, ndinonawo tiri kungorwadziwa nekuti hei zvinhu zvachonaka zviri kurwadza zvokurwadza tingaita.
Aiwa, regai tinzwe
angaitawo plan yekuti varume this time tave nekukundwa zvekare ndizobirirwa zvatakaita last time, zvekuti takabirirwa zvokuti zvakarwadza ende takatonovhotawo tine tarisiro yekuti zvinhu zvatikunovhotera zve mupurezidendi vakahwina, but nekubirira kwakazoitika hakonawo kuzoitawo chisimba kwakaitawo vanhu vakuti vazopinda. zvina kutifadza.
Aiwa, tinotenda. Thank you so much. Thank you, caller. Regaitipe mukana kuti vapindure. We had our caller there all the way from Zimbabwe, and here's a question for Miss Shiriedenga. Kana muripo Miss Shiriedenga. He's saying that how are you going to ensure that his vote is defended?
Thank you, Margaret. I think your caller is a very genuine concern. And if you say battle, we have studied my processes and we have learned from my mistakes. Aitikaka. Nezvakaitika 2018 President Anita Baka-Kwikwi. We have noted our mistakes. For example, in terms of the quality of polling agents, in terms of just the general preparation of putting, we are able to safeguard the ballot box, the ballot paper, and the polling station. If we have noted our mistakes and the truth of the judgments, I want to assure the people of Zimbabwe that we are leaving no stone unturned. We have done our mapping of my polling stations. Kuti kwakaitika ma-problems ndepati kwange kune ma-leakages ndepati ende tiri kutonama ma-leakages iwawo. And not only that, we want to make sure that within 24 hours after voting, ma-V11 ese tinenge tanawo. So that we are able to know that my results anenge akamira sei. Such that is very final announcer my results are able to say it no other can you do it out because my V11 atinawo which are verified, which has been signed by VEC, the NEMA agency they are. So we have a full proof of defend the vote that to defend someone.
If you can, Miss Shiriedenga, can you? All right, Musati Mapinda Imamo, can you respond?
You know, we just ZANU-PF preaching democracy to us.
Hello, Miss Shiriedenga.
People see when we talk, we don't talk about what ZANU-PF does.
I wanted you to respond in Ndebele, if you can. I think we lost her, but I wanted her to respond in Ndebele because she can speak all three languages, but we might have lost her. I'm not sure. Hello, Mr. Mavaza Mchiripo ere? I think we might have. Okay, Miss Shiriedenga Muripo ere?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, if you can just give us, a brief in Ndebele of what you were going to say to Mr. Mavaza and also to the caller.
Okay, ngiyabonga. Mina bengikhuluma ngithi iZANU kuyasimangaliса kakhulu nxa iZANU isizasitshumayeza ngedemocracy ukuthi idemocracy into enjani lalokhu yona yesifuna ukusitshela ukuthi senze njengebandla. Thina njengebandla le-People sithe senza intando yabantu. Akula ntando yabantu edlula lokho esifuna ukwenza ukuthi siyebuza ezinduneni kubosabhuku kulabafundisi bamachechi labantu jikelele abama-residents lakuma-village ama-video ukuthi lina yini elihlala esigabeni licela lisincedise lisitshele ukuthi ongalimela kuhle ongahambisa intando zenu ephalamende kumbe ekhansilini ngubani. Akula democracy edlula khonapho. Njalo nxa ekhuluma esithi i-primary election ele-democracy, I'm sure usekhohliwe lokho okwenzakale ku-ZANU-PF lalokho kwenzakala izindawo ku-NBC kunhlukane zasikuminyaka eyaphelayo ukuthi ama-primary aletha ukuqabala. Ama-primary election asebenza njalo ukuthi olemali ngubani ngoba uyahamba efike ethenga abantu bona laba abantu abathengiwe yibo abazavota. Let me also give you an instant eyenzakalayo.
I think, could you wrap it up? Miss Shiriedenga, could you wrap it up? Unfortunately, Ms. Shiriedenga and also Mr. Mavaza, time is not on our side, but just give us in 10 seconds your last word. Unfortunately, we have no extra time.
Okay. My last words are that we as the PPC, we are a citizen-centric party. we listen to the will of the people.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Marvelous Mhlanga Nyahuye saying have a very good night, and let's meet again next week.